We go to women's collegiate sports. Breaking news. The University of Penn gives mea culpa for allowing a dude like to feel pretty.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
To swim.
Hold up.
Compete.
Wait a minute.
And drop ball sacks in women's spaces.
Sheer fucking hubris.
I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this, I bet none of you had that on your bingo card for 2025.
You are correct, sir. Yes.
But it's what's next. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Wednesday. Happy hump day. Of course, another day closer to the 4th of July weekend. Well. I bet good money, hard money, that none of you had this on your bingo card for 2025. Breaking news. The University of Penn gives a mea culpa for allowing a dude like to feel pretty, Will Thomas, to swim, compete, and drop his ball sacks in women's spaces. Wow. Never thought I'd see the day. But yeah, I kind of did. And here we go. This comes out of Outkick. Breaking. Penn to apologize for allowing Will Thomas to compete on the women's team. University agreed to resolve its Title IX violation to comply with the Department of Education. The Department of Education announced that the University of Penn has agreed to resolve the Title IX violations related to allowing trans mental swimmer Will Thomas to compete on the women's team during the 21-22 season. As part of the resolution, Penn will adopt definitions for male and female consistent with biological sex, restore stolen records and titles to female athletes, that means stripping Will Thomas of that win, and issue personal apologies for impacting female swimmers. Sorry about that. One of those swimmers is Paula Scanlon, a teammate of Thomas who has previously expressed her emotional distress she suffered from being forced to change with a biological male in the women's locker room for an entire season. Yes, Will Thomas dropped his ball sacks in women's private spaces for an entire season in swimming against women. That's just up on its own. And of course, that's her right there, Miss Scanlon. Quote, I am deeply grateful to the Trump administration for standing firm in protecting women and girls and restoring our rightful accolades, Scanlon told Outkick. It is because of their strong leadership that my alma mater knows that it has no choice but to begin the process of reforming its policies to uphold women's rights. Today marks a momentous step towards repairing the past mistreatment of female athletes and forging a future where sex discrimination is no longer limits girls' potential. And of course, if you play this is when Donald Trump.
Wow, that's the first thing I have to say about this. How many years of progress this is just fixing? There's so many women I'm looking at in this room that have fought so hard for so many years on this issue, and I'm grateful to be alongside many of you today. But more than anything, I'm grateful for this administration for taking this so seriously. I have quite literally gotten exactly what I voted for, and so I can't start before I have it.
Of course, that was Ms. Scanlon at the White House speaking when Donald Trump signed the executive order. In April, the Department of Education Office for Civil Rights ruled that University of Penn violated Title IX by allowing Thomas to compete on the women's team. Acting Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights, Greg Traynor, said at the time that Penn could face financial consequences if they don't comply. While Penn is a private school, it receives about $1 billion in federal funding in 2024, according to local news. $1 billion in federal funding. Now, that's no drop in a bucket. $3 billion was given to Harvard last year. Unlike the state of Maine, which continues to fight the federal government, despite being found in violation of Title IX, Penn made the appropriate decision to stop allowing dudes to compete in women's athletics. Quote, today's resolution agreement with Penn is another example of the Trump effect in action. Thanks to the leadership of President Trump, UPenn has agreed to both apologize for its past Title IX violations and to ensure that women's sports are protected at the university for future generations of female athletes, U.S. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon said in a statement. Quote, today marks a great victory for women and girls, not only at the UPenn, but also all across the nation. The department commends UPenn for rectifying its past harms against women and girls, and we will continue to fight relentlessly to restore Title IX's proper applications and enforce it to the fullest extent of the law. McMahon also spoke to Outkick about the resolution and emphasized the importance of Penn apology to its female athletes and erasing Thomas's records from the books and restoring them to women who actually earned them. Real women. Good. Quote, we want to make sure that we emphasize this is wrong and the university didn't take the right kind of action to apologize to these women and putting them in situations where they could have been hurt or they could have lost opportunities where they might have had the dignity impugned, because they had to change in private spaces in front of them. So I think an apology was absolutely warranted. Yeah, and look how long it took. One of the biggest things that happening is resolutions that the University of Penn is going to restore all Division I women's records. And I try saying that 3 times. And titles similar recognition to women who actually did win and saved them to compete against a dude. I think it's really, really a big thing. While McMahon wasn't able to comment on the ongoing investigation of Title IX violations by Maine, California, and Minnesota, gee, they all happen to be, blue states. But that would have nothing to do about it. No. She did note that she hopes that the Penn resolution will encourage those states to comply with federal law. Oh, by the way, Pennsylvania is a blue state as well. Certainly that's our hope, and we continue our investigations, and we will be using this resolution as a model to go by. Outkick reached out to Upenn for comment on the resolution. Quote, yesterday, Penn and U.S. Department of Education for Civil Rights resolved a 2025 investigation in February into Penn's compliance with Title IX in women's athletics. This is a complex issue. No, not really. And I am pleased that we are able to reach a resolution through the standard OCR process for concluding Title IX investigations, a University spokesman said. Riley Gaines, host of Outkick's podcast Game for Girls and one of the most influential pro-women voices in the country, told Outkick in Tuesday's resolution is further proof that President Trump and his government agencies are committed to a pro-woman agenda. And of course, that is Riley Gaines there, and there's Will Thomas, and that became the genesis of what Riley Gaines is today. From day one, President Trump and Secretary McMahon made it clear that protecting women and girls is a top priority. And today's agreement with Upenn is proof that commitment in action, she said. Gaines, who tied Thomas for 5th place in a 200-yard freestyle in 22 NCAA swimming and division championships and diving championships, added that the Penn resolution should send a clear message to colleges and universities across the country. This administration isn't just talking about women's equality, but instead is actively defending it. I hope this sends a clear message to educational institutions. You can no longer disregard women's civil rights, and to every female athlete, know this: your dignity, safety, fairness matter, and our nation's leaders will not stop fighting for them, fighting for you. Well said by Riley Gaines. Like I said, that kicked off what Riley Gaines will become today, because Riley Gaines had no intention of doing this. Once she retired from swimming, she was going to be a dentist. Yes, not a dentist, not a fighter for women's advocacy and fighting for women in women's sports. But look where it's got her. And for Will Thomas, I wonder where Will is now. Being that this decision has just dropped, I wonder what his feelings are. Is he crying? You bet. Bitching and moaning? You bet. Pissed off about that his titles are going to be stripped from him and stripped from the record? Oh yeah. Me? I love it. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borganzo. This is what's next. When you see more like this, please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue spreading the word about the show. Appreciate you guys watching as always. And we'll see you next time. Peace.